up, everybody? It's Splash Pros here with Lumpies and Cbreezy. Hope it's going well for you guys. And yeah, thank you for being here. We're going to talk about what is wrong with the NBA. What is everything wrong with the NBA? Yeah, Cbreezy, take it away, man.
Hey guys, welcome back to Splash Bros. I
Yes.
just want to thank everyone, first of all, for watching our previous video. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's me and Lumpy's top 5. And like Lumpy's just said, today we will be talking about what we think is wrong with the NBA. First of all, just a quick disclaimer, we don't hate the NBA. Obviously, we love the NBA, but we're going to talk about a few topics, which is really just controversial topics. Depend on how you view it, but definitely things that
Yeah,
is with the NBA.
I would say that controversial, but stuff that
Yeah,
happens quite often. Let's
yeah,
just say it like that.
not necessarily controversial, but everyone will have the different opinions on these type of things, depending on what
Yeah.
your view is.
Okay, so let's start with one that is quite that happens quite lot, and that is fouls, especially your traveling fouls, and also your technical fouls that is just given out too easy. They just give it out for no reason at all. So what's your point on the traveling fouls? Sea breezy boy.
Yeah, I think this is a difficult one because I can understand when a referee misses one or two steps, and I can understand when a player accidentally takes a step. You know, one too many steps, which is understandable. I mean, you're in the game, you're not necessarily, you're thinking about something else. You're not concentrating on your movement. And I can understand also the refs not seeing the movement as well, also focusing on different things. But for me, it's really unacceptable that day in and day out, watching an NBA game, there's always a travel. And that for me is really unacceptable, especially those where players are on the fast break and they go dunking and they take like 5, 6 steps without dribbling the ball. For me, that is just blatantly unacceptable.
Yeah, it's actually shocking. Like I like that I don't see that. Like you will see in the videos that we put in the background. Like you can see that there's just some traveling files are just like crazy that isn't even spotted. So yeah, I don't know. This then there must be improvement on that.
It's insane
Definitely.
how many they miss. And going forward, I think why not put another ref in or use the video assistant referral program more. They don't use it as much as you would like to. I mean, in other sports, for example, rugby and football, you have the TMO and the VAR, and it's used much more often than in basketball. I think really they should use video referral when a player is on the
Mm.
fast break and you don't see him dribbling the ball. Don't just leave it and give the 2 points, because in basketball that 2 points but was um, given to a player didn't necessarily have given to him, and that could be the difference between winning a title and going out in the playoffs. So for me, it's something
Yeah,
they
yeah,
really.
definitely. Just to get on a topic quickly, we're going to throw. This is not even in the line that we were discussed. Like we are casual when we're chatting, we're just casually chatting. But
Yeah,
if they're going to use like TMO or referral systems, then I think they should have less timeouts also,
yes.
because the NBA games are all also long, or they are actually not that long, but with all the timeouts and all that, it makes it insanely long. So if they're going to use something like that, where you use the referral system more often, they must shorten
Yeah, which is
a bit opinion.
hmm, which is true because the game, for example, is only 48 minutes long, but if you watch the whole match, it's something like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So if I think if they use the video assistant more, that could be like a timeout rather than giving the same amount of timeouts every time they have a video assistant referral. That could be a timeout, and you take 1 or 2 timeouts maybe away to keep the game entertaining and flowing.
Yeah, yeah. More, yeah, no, more risky shots, maybe more buzzer beaters, all that stuff. So yeah, but hopefully we'll see what happens in the future. But that is definitely a route the NBA can take to improve the traveling fouls. Yeah, yeah. And then also I just want to say, also a foul that I can't, or a thing that players does that I can't handle is flopping.
Oh
Because
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I don't know what your opinion on that, Christian, but yeah,
I think
go on.
I think flopping and technical fouls go hand in hand. For me, every time a player flops, that should be a technical foul. Um, because for me it's unacceptable. For example, in soccer slash football, when a player flops slash dives, the other team is awarded a penalty, or the player could get a yellow card for diving. And in football they call it simulation. And I think the same sort of thing could be given to a player in the NBA. If you flop, you get a technical foul or a personal foul or whatever, and that counts to your overall foul count, which means players would flop less. And on flopping, the same point can be made for soft shooting fouls. And I know this is a topic where you also strongly agree on that fouls are given way too easy. There is little to minimum contact, and then a foul is called. For example, every time James Harden just drives to the lane, he always gets an ad one for some reason.
Yeah, like I understand, like if you go and dunk and the guy hits your arm before you put the ball in the net, that is definitely a shooting foul, but yeah, some fouls they don't even touch the guy, and it's like, yeah, it's an ad one, you know. So
Yeah, there's like minimum contact.
yeah, the unnecessary fouls, almost like they don't, yeah, or they give it too
And it
easy, almost
and
like
it's yeah,
it makes
and
the
it's slow,
game, yeah,
and it slows the game down really, really a lot, because now the player gets fouled, he does his free throw routine, sinks one, he has to high five every guy, the subs come on. That's also a time consuming process, which is not something that's
yeah,
very, very entertaining. And I understand the NBA's goal is always to protect the players, but when a guy drives to the lane and there's minimum contact, not even on his hand or arms or anything, and a foul is given, for me, that player is safe and that is not a dangerous situation. So why award a shooting foul for something as minimal and as trivial as that?
yeah. That I think that's definitely the NBA has changed from, like, you can say, the 90s still present with the physicality. Um, because of the fouls that they were given so easy. So now a guy doesn't want to go for the block or so, because he can easily get a flagrant foul or a
Yeah,
personal foul or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I like a bit more physical basketball. It is actually a contact sport. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
it's a very contact sport. There's a lot of contact. It's not as soft as people think. When a player posts
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
there's a lot of contact. There's a lot of brute
yeah,
force
no,
going into it, and I would love to see that
yeah,
back again.
definitely. Yeah, no, it's just it just shows the physicality. It's like, I think that they definitely should, maybe be a little more, giving on the fouls, maybe, but more contact. They are still like, playing a contact sport. So yeah. Okay, so next on the list that we have, I think this is going to be an interesting topic, is courtside fans and their interaction with the players. Yeah, some of that interactions, like I'm just going to quickly say one person. No offense against him, Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I understand if you talk smack to the guys on the field, that's just part of sports. But to get in someone's face or something like that, or throw them or stuff, that's unacceptable for me. So yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely. For me, this is sport. We're not saying the fans shouldn't boo the players or the fans shouldn't interact. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. Fans will be fans. We're specifically talking about courtside fans. You are literally on the court, and it's unacceptable for you to pull on a player, to harass a player with either words or stuff. I mean, it's one thing to trash talk a player, it's a whole different thing to blatantly disrespect someone who is playing. And for me, that is something that the NBA should really look in to set a more harsh rule on. For example, it's fine when Drake is courtside and he's giving a guy a little bit of smack for missing a shot. I mean, that's all fair. But literally going onto the court, screaming at the players, going into huddles, those kind of stuff. That is unacceptable for me because in no other
yeah,
sport you have that. And it's a very nice thing that basketball has courtside seats. It is exclusive. It's a great view. It's a fantastic way to interact with players. But there's always going to be one of those fans who just completely, like always, just ruin the whole experience by being a nuisance or an irritation and really violating what the court side effect wants to bring to the NBA.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely. There should be maybe more security. I don't know, maybe because
Yeah, definitely more
like you said,
security.
it's only in basketball you can sit like literally on the court and the guys, there's nothing between you and the players, Like, there's not like in rugby, when you go and watch rugby, there's like 5 meters till where the guys play. It's like,
Yeah, you're
and
still
there's
far
a
from the
barrier
rim.
between you. Yeah, and there's a barrier between you and the guys playing. So yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe more strict if you harass players, you maybe lose your privilege to come and watch a game again for the season, or you
Yeah.
lose the privilege to watch from courtside, something like that. Maybe something as strict. I don't know.
Yeah. So, we're not
But
saying that they should remove it. I mean, obviously it should stay, but there's a difference between a player hitting a buzzer beater game winner, a fan who has courtside tickets going onto the field, onto the court and celebrating, and there's a difference between a player who goes on to kick the ball or touch a player in game. That is unacceptable.